because we're going to be kind of doing it a very kind of a slightly different way. Same thing today. We're not going to spend too much time talking. Um, More time is going to be spent working on creating the pages. Okay.
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 All right. So, first thing I want to talk about is you guys read your own summaries, right?
Uh,
Yes.
I
Okay.
haven't finished reviewing it or reading it.
Okay, the summary.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Feel free to knock that out real quick.
Okay.
Don't worry about making changes or looking through the pages or anything like that because what we're gonna do is you're gonna fix each other's. So Vivian, you're gonna fix Maria's, and Maria, you're gonna fix Vivian's. Okay. So the reason why is because I want you to be able to see someone, because a lot of times what you're gonna be asked to do is to make changes on a page that already exists. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Mhm.
So these pages already exist. So what you're going to do is make changes to them, and the changes are going to be based on my recommendations. Does that make
Okay.
sense? So that's why I don't want
Yeah.
you guys to change it, because then that way you can learn how to make changes, and you have to learn how to read the other person's code and figure it out that way. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But before we get to that, let me go through some things that I thought um, we could both, well, not, but we could all use a little bit of work on. So, first thing is going to be images. I noticed images had some issues with them. So, by the way, you guys did a great job. You guys did that very, very well. Maria,
Oh.
how long did it take you to get yours done?
Me. I started in the morning and then stopped because I had to run errands and I have a part-time work.
Okay, I
And
see.
then I did in late last night.
Okay. So
Like
altogether, how long would it have been?
uh 5 hours, I think.
5 hours on it?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Or
Okay.
5 or 6. I really didn't count 5 or 6, but I'm really taking too long to do it.
No, it's okay. It's all
Mhm.
practice because the thing is, the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. All
So,
right.
all right, let's take a look at this adding images. Okay.
Excuse me.
When you add an image, um, let's see, this person looks comfortable. Okay, when you add an image, please remember that these things do matter. So don't just automatically insert it into the page. Okay, you have your caption here, which is super important because some pages have caption, some images have captions, some images don't. And when we
Yeah.
want to build a page or we want you to copy a page or something like that that does not have a caption, you have to remember to put it without the caption. And if it does have a caption, you have to remember to put it. Okay.
Mhm.
The alt text, I think pretty much every one of y'all you guys both pretty much figured that out the whole time. And then the next thing is don't forget about the size, don't forget about the links, and don't forget about the attachments. Okay, just remember when you're inserting an image, you have to have all these things accounted for. Okay, and then the next thing is you have to remember the relative URLs. Some of them you did, some of them you didn't. I understand it's really, even us, like you'll see some of our pages don't have it because it's forgotten, but it's important to learn to do it now versus when you've already developed the habit of putting them on there. Does that make sense?
Yes, I forgot.
Yeah, me too. I forgot also.
I
I understand.
forgot.
I
Yeah.
understand. There's a lot. There was a lot to cover. So I tried to give those pages you guys created had a little bit of everything in it. So I wanted to make sure that you guys were ready. Okay. And I know they were tough, but it's only going to get tougher. So, but you guys did a really, really good job overall. The next thing is going to be tags. Anytime you have an opening tag, you need to have a closing tag. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
Now, with that being said, if you open one and then you open another one, you have to close that one before you close the last one, the first one. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yes.
Because if you put it like this, it doesn't really make sense, right? This
Mhm.
paragraph is supposed to be inside of this div tag, but now it runs past the end of that div tag. So let's say that we wanted everything in the div tag to be. Let's say we had a class is 1/2 first, right? Let's say this is what we had. Inside of it, we had the paragraph. What would happen? Because technically, this is still the paragraph. Would only this half
Okay.
be in the first half, or did you want all of this to be in the first half? How do you want it? Is that kind of? Do you see how that can be confusing?
Mhm.
So you have to remember to contain everything inside of itself. Now it makes sense. It makes sense that this div or this paragraph is inside of this div. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Other small things I noticed. Um, you're running an ordered list. You have to end that ordered list. Okay, because
Forgot again.
yeah, no worries. You guys are picking this up super fast. Like you guys are learning like pure HTML pretty fast. So like what it takes people like months to learn this stuff. So you guys are doing a great job.
Uh-huh.
You look extremely
I
good,
hope.
and I love it. Thank you. But yeah, so you just gotta remember if you're opening it, you're closing it. There's only two tags that do not close. The image tag does not close,
Okay.
and the break line tag, which we haven't covered, does not close. That's it. Everything else has an open and a close. Even the anchor, the link tag, which is A, and
Mhm.
it has some link here, has a closing A tag. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So does that kind of make sense?
Uh, Excuse me. But the tags that you were saying are all in the cheat sheet, right?
It should be, yes.
Yeah, okay, okay.
How much did you guys use the cheat sheet?
Me a little.
Not not too much. Not
Not
too
too
much.
much.
A
Okay.
little, me a little only. Like
Okay.
three
Isn't
only. Three only, I think.
Yeah, for the one that says
Excuse me.
this page must also use at least three new
Uh,
HTML tags that we have not covered in this
mm,
session.
Yeah, the reason why I wanted y'all to do ones that we haven't covered is because I wanted to assess your ability to see the page, find
mm,
the information, and then put it on the page.
oh,
Okay. So I know I seem like I'm absolutely crazy, but I promise you, there's a purpose behind most of everything I'm asking you guys to do. Okay, so this custom site inner class, we have multiple classes that go in here, and what I did today was I created you guys. Well, we already created it as a company, but I haven't given it to you until today. We have a how to create pages. This is the ultimate cheat sheet. So it has the explanation of the div classes. It has all the different types of div classes that we use. Okay.
Okay.
I'm about to explain to you guys the clear, and I'm about to explain to you guys the block. Okay.
Yeah, it's a block I didn't understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that right now. And then okay, here's something you guys might see today. Class is water check or class is water drop to unordered list. If you want to center paragraphs and stuff like that, you can add a center title class. So to custom post class. So what this means is, let me see. Okay, custom post class is here, right? Let me view this page, and then let me come to cheat sheet. Set the title. So did you see where I put this? The center post class, center title.
post and post.
Yeah.
Oh wow, the title's already centered. It's not gonna it's not gonna make a difference. You guys won't be able to tell the difference. But basically, what it's supposed to do is show you. It's supposed to center the title, but the title already
Okay.
seems to be centered, so that defeats the purpose. See, you can't tell any difference between them. So that sucks. I'm sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so feel free to go through this cheat sheet. You're going to need it. Um, you're going to need it because the stuff that I assigned you guys today is going to be a little bit more complex. This is alignment classes. It's align left, align center, align right, align left. But this is for divs and paragraphs. Okay. So this stuff is going to come in handy as you're starting to build your pages, because today's exercises are you guys have to build these pages from scratch. You're going to have to fix all of the mistakes that your fellow VA made, and then recreate all of these pages. Okay, so that's this class isn't going to last as long. The session will be done in about 10 minutes. Because I want you guys to get started on this. I think you guys are about ready. It's not going to be easy. There's stuff that I expect you not to get it all, but I expect it to be close. You can copy the information here. Most of these images should already be there. If they're not, you can save the image to your computer and then re-upload it to the media library and then use it that way. Okay? So you guys are going to be doing those. There's even non-water cleaner ones that you guys are going to need to do.
Okay.
And this one has like horizontal rule, which is a tag that you're going to have to use from time to time. But this is what they're going to ask you. From time to time, they're going to ask you to do things like this. So being able to do it is going to be huge. Okay. The last thing I want to show you guys is blocks. Okay. So blocks.
Chica, can you please make your screen a bit bigger?
Okay.
Can you please make your screen a little bigger?
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better now. Thank you.
Okay. No problem. Okay, so you guys know about the 1/2?
Yeah.
Okay, so other than just the 1/2, there's a thing called block. Okay, and what block does is it forces everything inside of that div to be one chunk of code. Let me explain. So this now, because I put div class equals block, this now becomes one big chunk of code. Why does that matter? Let me show you what happens if you don't use a div block class, and then when you do. So let's say we did style equals with 50 or 89%. This page was made so well, it's going to be hard to deal with this. Okay, actually, let me drop the block class. Let me just teach it to you guys the easier way. Okay, the easier way is going to be if we make this 1/2 first, and that's this div right here, and then we make this one okay. If you guys ever do this where it's 1/2 and then the second half, Don't even worry about the block. What I want you guys to worry about is just go div class equals. I'm going to show y'all exactly where it is here. Clear. So, okay, what this is going to do is before you type any other text, it's going to clear out anything that could be off with this. So whenever you do 1/2 and you do another 1/2, sometimes the percentages aren't always correct, right? So sometimes it's not 50%, 50%. Sometimes it's like 49.6 and 49.8 or something like that. Sometimes it's just a little bit off and just a little bit under 100%. So what this does is it goes through and clears anything that's not 100% so that everything else you type underneath it will fit perfectly without getting in between, without getting in the way. Okay, really, that's honestly the best way I can really truly describe this. See, this is the first half, this is the second half, and then this is the third little thing I put in there. Sometimes if you don't use the clear, this code will come right in between these two paragraphs because this isn't exactly 50-50. Does that make sense? I wish I could just show it to you when it does that, but sometimes it's hard to recreate that. So let's see. If you go 1/3, you go 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, you're going to have to put clear after the last one. Okay, does that make sense? So basically, anytime that you're using these columns, at the end, after the last column, add this piece of code. It's probably the easiest way to explain it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So every time you're building classes, if you build, let's say you have 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, afterwards, clear. Then if you want to go another section, just the same. Want to do the exact same thing, but and paste it, just make sure you add that clear at the end of it before you put any other information on. Okay?
Okay.
That should simplify that for y'all. Okay. So, any questions about that?
None.
No.
Okay. Okay. And you guys can go ahead and ignore the block class. Don't worry about that. It's not really going to, I don't think it's really going to come into play too often for you at the moment. But basically what the block class does do is, like, let's say you had all three columns, 1, 2, 3, you put the div in front of it that says block. That way it would contain all of that information. That way, the same thing, no text can flow in there because that's all one big section now that has 3 sections in it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't, let me screen share. So if you take a look at this page right now, you'll see this is the entry content, right? Hold on, I have to zoom out a little bit, guys. Okay, so if you notice, this is all the content on the page, right? See how that has all of the content on the page?
Mm-hmm.
Your screenshot is freezing.
Mine is freezing?
Yes, I can see the same thing.
What do you see?
Now none. Yeah.
Okay, do you see me now?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay.
No, I can't.
Can you see my screen right now?
It's all black for me.
Okay. How about you, Maria?
I can see your screen.
Okay. So Vivian,
Mhm.
you can either leave and try to come right back in,
Okay.
or you can wait until the
I'll
video.
I'll see if it's loading.
Okay. So
I'll
Maria,
come back in. I'll
okay, do you
come
need
back
the,
in.
here? I'll send you the link as soon as you pop
Okay.
on. All right. So where was I?
Oh, by the way, Chica, sorry, I have a lot of error.
Oh no, it's
Especially
just
on the images, I really can't move it on the right side. I don't. I'm really taking time figuring out how to. Like it's like a trial and error.
I'm glad you actually mentioned that because I need to teach that too before we
Yeah,
get out of
yeah, I
here.
know.
So- okay,
Vivian is back.
Oh,
Vivian's it better?
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, better.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so what I want you guys to see is this is everything, right?
Okay.
Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Then now it just shows one thing, right? One third first, and this is one third, one third. This is clear. See, there's nothing there for clear, but it clears it. Then one third, one third, one third. You guys see that?
Mm.
But
Yes.
if I wanted to, like, let's say I wanted to do something to all three of these on the top, there's no way I can do that. See that? See how they're just individual?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to switch this. So I'm going to create same page, same everything. All I'm going to do is instead of using the clear class, I'm going to use the block class. So instead of clear at the end, clear is usually here at the end, right? I'm going to move it to the beginning. Call it block. Now they're going to have the page is going to look exactly the same, but you're going to see the subtle difference in how the
Yeah,
browser
got it.
reads it. Okay. So now I need to zoom out again. Now when I hit inspect, you'll see block. See, block contains all three of them. You see that?
Okay, got it.
Block
Yeah, I
contains
know what it's for.
all three of them, and then this block contains the entire bottom half. You see that? So let's say I wanted to add a style to this. Let's say I want to go background is blue. See how I can now control everything with that one? But with the clear class, I couldn't do that.
Mm.
Okay, so what the block does is it forces everything to be inside of it.
Yeah,
You still
got it.
have you still have the first, the second, and the third, but now you have the block controlling it.
Yeah, I got that. That was a mistake I did with it doesn't look like a block. It looks like a
Yeah, and
yeah.
you can use that when things get difficult. When it's so difficult to move stuff, you can use that to like move things around. Now, let me show you guys another thing that I want to show y'all before we call it. It's going to be the second half. So, whenever you're building a page using whenever you're building a page and you're using one half first, these are individual classes. So I'm gonna do how this works. I haven't actually done this before. I've never done this wrong on purpose, so I have no idea if this is gonna work. But check this out.
Like try and error, trial and error.
hmm Okay, so hi, I'm first is first, right? Let's make it second. So now we made Hayam first, second.
Okay.
So that actually did not work the way I thought it was gonna work. But anyway, I think I can now create that thing I was thinking about creating. Okay. See how it's 1/2 and then it's 1/2 and then there's this information here? The reason why this is happening is that the first class has a little bit of extra on it to make it to where it fits properly. So if you don't put the right codes on there properly, it's not gonna fit right.
Okay.
See that? So this is still 1/2 and 1/2. You can even put this one first and the other one second. But do you see how this code starts coming in here? You want to go 1/2 first and then 1/2. So the class is actually 1/2 and then first is being added to it. So it's 2 classes happening instead of 1. See that? Now see how this is over here? Boom. So let me fully explain everything that happened. 1/2 first. This is a class. This class has a specific amount of space that it adds to that page. So this is it. 1/2. The width is 48.71795, right? 1/2 first. What the first does is it forces it to the left, and then it adds the 48.71 whatever. If you add 41, if you multiply this by 2, I can't type anymore. All right, what was it? 48.71795. If you multiply that by 2, you do not get 100. So there's three extra pixels. So that 48 point whatever, that is this. You see that? So if you put 2 of those together, if you put 2 of these 1/2s together, you will not get 100%. And by 100%, they mean from this end of the page to this end of the page. There's 100% that goes through there. 1/2 cuts it in half to make it fit side by side. If you don't put the first there, you're going to completely throw it off because the first forces it to fit. Then at the end of it, you have to put the clear because the clear forces everything after it to line up properly. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And if you don't use the clear, you could have put the block.
So okay, so clear and block. Whether I could use either.
You can use either one, yes.
Okay. Now I understand. Yeah.
Because what the block does is it separates it from everything underneath it.
Okay.
Just the exact same way. So if I reload this, you'll see that the this will be on this side too. If I take out the block, it won't be. And the reason why is because the block, see that? It contains everything. There's the 1/2. I could even, with the block, I could even forget the first. I could delete the first here by accident.
Oh yeah. So it's like the block and the clear make it look more appealing because without it it's like a whole mess.
Yes,
Like what
exactly.
I did. Like what I did.
No, it's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
me too.
You didn't
I
know.
did know, yeah, I didn't know about the block. So I
Yeah, me too. I
think
You didn't
don't
know.
know
I had
anything.
never taught you, so yeah, I didn't really
well,
expect you to be able to pick it up. But
Me
I
too.
did want, what I do want you guys to have down is this second class that you have, div class, has to be the same class as this one. They're all the same class. They're all the same size, 48 point whatever. The only thing is when you make the first one, you just tell it that's the first.
okay. Where do you put the block? It's above the div class 1/2 first, right?
Yeah, when you
Oh,
think about the block in terms of chunks. Like you know how you make the OL ordered list,
Mhm.
yeah.
and you have all this stuff in there. That's how you want the block to be. You want to think about the block as being the OL, and then all of these other divs as the LIs. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes.
So the block would be here. Or you could do it the easier way. The easier way is just after you finish these first and this other half, then you just put a clear class underneath it.
Okay.
You guys will probably have to rewatch this part quite a few times to fully get it, especially since it took me a minute to fully explain it properly. So, yeah, let's see. Okay, images. Images in the second grouping um, is pretty simple in the sense that anything you put in, you can put anything in a div. You can put your A tags in a div. You can put your P tags in a div. You can put anything that you want. You can put in a div. So if you have a hard time moving something, put in a div and move that div over there. Okay? We like divs a lot here at our company. So all you have to do is put the image inside of that second div.
Mhm.
You just take that, put in the second div. Make sure it's relative. And now that image is going to be over here on the right side. Because a div doesn't know the difference between an image, a map, text. It doesn't know the difference. It literally has no
Yeah.
idea what the difference is.
That I didn't know. Okay, that I could
Me,
use a div or for an image or a
yeah,
YouTube video. Yeah.
Anything. Yeah, if we went and grabbed a video, uh,
div class. So for images, we have to apply also div because I didn't apply anything with the
yeah,
Yeah,
image.
me too.
you don't have to, but it just makes it.
Uh,
In my opinion, it makes it easier.
uh,
Sometimes it's a little bit over code, but I'd rather you
mm,
guys learn it that way.
uh,
And then if you need to do something else later, it's easy to make the transition. So because you can always put it in a div, and it's always going to be considered okay. So this is a paragraph. This is a video. Now the video is going to end up on the first half div.
Okay.
So as long as you understand how to move divs with these classes, then you can put anything anywhere. See,
Okay.
on the first half. Now another thing you guys might need to learn is all right. This is perfect. You can also have 2/3 and then 1/3. Okay. So 2/3 and 1/3 make one whole, just like 1/2 and 1/2, right? You can do that, and what that'll do is that'll split it into three sections, but it's not really 3 sections. It's one long section. See, this is longer, and one smaller section, almost like having a sidebar.
Okay.
See that? Because this is now 2/3, and this is 1/3. So that's why I brought the cheat sheet for y'all. 5/6, 4/6, 1/4, 1/2, 1/6, 3/4. They're all usable. So I think it was this page here. This would be like 1/4, and this would be like 3/4. This would be 3/4 first. This would be like 1/4. Okay, does that make sense?
Okay, so why is it 1/4? Oh, because yeah, it's a fourth item there. Yeah, okay.
No, I'm talking about the space that's being used.
Okay, okay.
So this is using only like maybe if you cut this into 4.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, okay.
Or you could cut it into thirds, and this could take up 1/3, and this
And
takes
this
up
can be
2/3.
bigger. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that allows you to kind of manipulate how it looks from one to the other. So here, let me zoom out. Get rid of the sidebar. That way you guys can fully see what I mean.
So for that paragraph and images, we have to play around if we want the spacing on the sides or on the middle, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could put the image in the middle
Or
if you want.
like okay.
You see how this is taking up like 2/3 of the page,
Mm-hmm.
and this is taking up 1/3 of the page.
Mm-hmm.
You could go 1/3 first, and squeeze everything in there, and make this 2/3.
Mm-hmm.
The image won't get bigger, but you're going to see this huge little weird gap.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see this one's going to be small,
Mm-hmm.
and this one's taking up the other 2.
Okay.
See, it's taking up all that space.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the first one is only taking up that much space. See that?
Mm-hmm.
So, questions. I know you guys have a ton of questions. Vivian, I think you have some questions over there.
No. I got it now.
Yeah.
I'll do one more example.
Okay.
Okay, let's say we want to do fourths here, okay? You guys know there's a lot of text here in the middle. Okay? What I want to do is I want to have the video on one side. I want to have Starbucks picture on the other side with all this text right in the middle. So I know I want basically 3 classes, right? Because I want this video on the left, I want all this text in the middle, and then I want this one on the side. So that's 3, correct? But I want to give more. But I want to give more space to this.
Okay.
So I want this to take up like half the page. I want this to take up 1/4, and I want this to take up 1/4, but all on the same line. Okay. I know that sounds really complex right now, but you'll see what I mean. Okay, so before we see what this looks like, let me explain what it should look like, right? So, this is the first thing I want them to see. I want them to see the YouTube. But I only want the YouTube to take up the first 1/4 of the page. Then the next half of the page, I want it to be the copy. And then the next 1/4 of the page, I want it to be my image. So all 3 of these are going to be in line, right? but this one's going to be a little bit bigger because it's a full half instead of a quarter. These are going to be, this is 1/2 broken in 2, this is 1/2 broken in 2, and then this is just 1/2, right? 0.5, 0.5, 0.25, 0.5, 0.25. So I think you guys do get it, but I'm just going to illustrate it. So quarter,
Yeah, one
half,
whole.
quarter is 1 whole. So technically, this should have all of them side by side. Let's cross our fingers, because that YouTube video might throw it off. Yep, I was afraid of. This YouTube video might throw it off. 1/4 first, div here. Oh, that's what I did.
Yeah,
I could close my div.
I saw that. I saw that.
Good call. Good catch. One-fourth, 1/2, 1/4. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So using these things here, you can manipulate a page, a line, a row to look exactly how you want it to.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Then after you get done with them, at the end of the last div, you just put div class equals clear. Nothing in here, and you just end the div. That's it. That page would be exactly how we wanted it to look. So that builds on what you guys learned yesterday.
Okay.
Okay.
This is
So-
sort of more of practicing, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's sort of more of experimenting and seeing what it's going to look like. Like,
Yeah, and you guys are gonna get plenty of it because, like I said, you guys are gonna be making. I don't know how many pages these are, but you guys are gonna be making these pages. I'm actually gonna be calling it here. So, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete your summaries because that was just for you to know. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send Vivian Maria's. I'm gonna send Maria Vivian's. Okay, so this is gonna take some time.
Sorry, Vivian. I have
sorry, Marie.
lots of error. I know you're good. Me, I'm not really good. So sorry for a lot of errors.
You guys are both pretty close, actually,
Oh my.
and most of the changes aren't very big either. There's a couple of them that could use some work, but most of them are pretty simple pages. Okay, so now you guys each have each other's. So your job is to clean up the other ones' pages.
Okay.
After you clean up those pages, your job is to. I put some special instructions. Am I frozen? Can you guys see me?
No. No, you're not frozen.
Yeah.
You're still
You guys
moving.
can see me?
Yeah, you're still moving.
I
Yeah.
can see you.
No, my computer is going crazy.
No, we can see you.
So you guys don't see my computer going crazy.
And right now.
Now it's crazy. Uh-oh. Green. Yellow.
Okay. Well, all I'm doing is assigning the I don't even know how to hit stop it. There we go. Okay. So whoever's watching this afterwards, I'm sorry because my video just kind of went dead. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign you guys to fix each other's stuff, and then I'm sending you a bunch of pages for you to work on. Okay? I'm actually going to add it to the bottom of those sheets that you guys are already using. So I'm just going to copy and paste in those documents, okay? I'm going to have to restart my computer here in a second. So I'm going to end this Hangout here. By the time we meet tomorrow, hopefully you guys will have all of that done. And then tomorrow by tomorrow you guys will start editing live things like widgets, headers, and we're gonna go over in-depth short codes, and we're gonna go over Thrive and stuff like that tomorrow. Um, if everything goes as planned by Monday, you guys, with I think I'll still have to be there with you guys at first, but you guys will be ready to start doing work officially on our stuff because you guys are basically there. Okay.
Okay.
So good luck with this, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Okay.
Same time?
Same time, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Bye bye.
All
All
right.
right, bye guys. Thank you.
Good luck, Vivian. Good luck to me. Okay. Bye.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
This sucks. Okay. Let's continue broadcast. Oh my god, it's working now. Oh my god, no, it's not.